extremely disappointed in the really in the whole outcome of the game. Clearly, didn't get the job done. That falls on my shoulders. I didn't have this team ready to play coming off of last week. Um, this this didn't have the umph, the momentum shift. We didn't have any momentum plays that we could build off of to generate any type of offense or defense or anything to sway the game. My hat goes off to Central Michigan. They came in with a phenomenal game plan. They stuck to it. We made some errors early on. They took advantage of. And against a team like that gets ball control, it's tough to come back from when you're trying to find some type of offensive momentum, some offensive spark, which we've been struggling to find for the most part of the past couple of weeks and certainly this year. So, and it showed, when you get 15 penalties or so, that doesn't help. So the penalties, turnovers, did not help us at all in this ball game. So that falls on my shoulders. I have to get better. I take ownership of that. I challenge my team to take ownership as well, to figure out where we have to go. The obstacle is the way. The only way we're going to get better is to go through this. This is a part of the process, unfortunately. It stinks. It hurts. It's disappointing. But we have a lot to learn, a lot of ball left, and we're just going to go back to work and figure it out.
Coach Michael Burrow with the Toledo Blade. Just expanding on the penalties, a lot of unsportsmanlike conducts, personal fouls. Just how do you just kind of prevent that from happening and not let that kind of snowball in a way? Because obviously that mentally that affected you guys.
Well, it's poise. We lacked poise, and we talk about our identity being fast, physical, and disciplined. A lot of those personal fouls, I have to go look at it. I think it was a face mask or whatever it was. They can't have that. That's discipline. So we're not a great team yet. So it certainly we can't do that part to help a team by adding yardage to penalties, and that sucks, and that's uncharacteristic for us. I think it's the most penalties we've had all year. Don't know where it came from. I'm not sure. Again, I got to review the film to figure out what the answer is. But we're just not there yet. We're not mature enough yet, and we got to learn maturity. We got to learn to be poised and have the self-discipline in between those plays to not do those types of things.
Coach Tyler Kavlich, Falcon Media Sports Network. Last week, you said that you watched the team grow up in the win against Toledo. Mm-hmm. Talking now about they need to mature some more. How much room for maturity do you think this team really has to get to where you guys want to be?
Well, listen, I'm not worried about going to Detroit or winning the MAC at this point. We're not there yet. Can we get there? Yes. But these are the move 2 steps forward, you take 1 step back type of moment. So, instead of sitting here and being long-faced about, what we didn't accomplish, hey, we got to take ownership and say we are who we are. We're not a championship team yet. Now, going through this and getting better and learning from it, we build championship pedigree. And if that's this year or next year, that's what it is. So we just got to go through the process. We got to get some guys healed up and get them healthy. And we got to just continue to chop wood and carry water, period. You got to show back up to work.
Lucian had 2 interceptions on 2 throws that were pretty similar to each other. What'd you make of those throws and just his overall performance today?
It was 2 tip balls. When the ball gets tipped, it's not a good thing. They caught the breaks. We didn't. We didn't have any chances to get any turnovers. They didn't throw the ball at all. They didn't fumble the ball. They were very good with protecting the football today, and that was the biggest difference. Was the penalties, the big momentum, explosive play that they had in the first half, and of course we tried to go for a fake and didn't get the fake, and they scored off of that. So lessons to learn, and we got to take it. We got to take our medicine and learn from it.
Kevin Hutchinson, Falcon Media Sports Network. Coach, obviously, least points a Falcon team has scored since 2023. Obviously, penalties being an issue, third down being an issue. Just what's your plan in terms of getting this offense in more of a rhythm moving forward, especially with the max slate coming up?
Yeah, that's just it. It's trying to find a rhythm. Again, this is Lucian's second game, and we're trying to put him in position to be successful. Our run game didn't show up for us today like we thought it should have to help him. We had to be efficient in the run game, and we didn't do that earlier on. So we found ourselves in a lot of third and long situations and getting 3 and outs, and then it got away from us. So this is a part of the process of finding, that part of finding a rhythm. I still believe in what we do. We have to execute better. Every time we did get something positive, it was called back because of a penalty, and that's tough to overcome. So once we learn to be disciplined in between our plays and execute at a high level and be able to, get first downs and get momentum going, then we'll see that. I've seen flashes of that throughout the season. This was just a really bad day overall for that to happen, for us not to be able to do that offensively.
Coach Carter Leonard, Falcon Media Sports Network. Going back to Lucian Anderson real quick, what's your overall message to him, from experiencing the highest of highs last week,
Right.
beating Bowling Green's bitter rival, to the lowest of lows this week? What is your overall message to him after suffering this in just a week span?
Just keep growing. It's a part of the deal. Some games you're going to be high. This is football. This is life. I mean, this is what happens. So how we respond is the one thing that I'm more concerned about, and really focusing on. What's done is done. Now he has an opportunity to learn from it. That's the beautiful part about it. Now he can say, okay, he made some throws toward the end of the game and with some confidence, and that was encouraging to see. So that's something we can build on and really, really flourish it. And he should feel good about that. So again, we're going to look at that position. Drew may be back. We're not sure what that looks like, but we just got to get better overall at that position.
It looked like when Lucian got confidence, you were going a little bit maybe more up-tempo.
Yep.
Does that kind of simplify things for a quarterback then?
I think it does. I think you have less time to think. You just got to go react and play. It gets him into a rhythm. You're able to see it a little bit better. As the game went on, he got more settled. So, we have to continue to work with Lucian in that regard. Again, look at the tape and see what works for him, and build off of that. And that's it. I mean, unfortunately, the 2 turnovers hurt us in a game like this against a team like that. So that can't happen. So I gotta find a way to get him better. I got to be better for him. I got to coach him better. I got to find the best ways to give him the best opportunities to be efficient and as a quarterback in this offense.
You mentioned the 2 interceptions. There's also 3 turnovers on downs. Talk about your philosophy on going for it on 4th down and the execution on those plays.
Well, my philosophy is I was going to go for it. I needed to find some type of momentum. We just didn't execute. I felt like we got a first down. I didn't see the TV copy, but I felt like Lucian got some forward momentum. It was only a yard, and I thought it was in a good spot. But the ref clearly has a better view than I did, and there wasn't a first down. So, and we got stoned on those situations, and that's something that we pride ourselves in. We practice it. We just didn't execute it. So, again, we have to reassess what we're doing in those situations and put together a better game plan to execute in those situations. It's going to come up again, and I'm going to go for it again, and we're going to try to execute that.
I guess just starting off, how different are the emotions right now, compared to a week ago? Obviously such a high with the Toledo win. Just what are the emotions like to this week?
Yeah, it's definitely hard, especially because we know after a big win like that, anyone can beat anyone in this conference, and we knew that coming into this game, and we tried to not dump last week completely, and we weren't able to come out and compete today.
Obviously, that first interception led to an easy touchdown for them. Just kind of after that, was it hard to try to regain focus? It felt like that play kind of really set the tone there in that first half.
Yeah, that was definitely a big blow, but we got to do what we need to do as a defense, get the ball back, and we didn't force a single turnover today, so we're not going to win games like that.
15 penalties for the team, a lot of unsportsmanlike personal fouls. I guess just what's your message, as a captain to the team to to really limit those? Because obviously those are such huge plays.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that many penalties. I know there's a few personal fouls, but we just need to grow up. I mean, that's unacceptable, especially at this level of football. And, I'm sure we're going to take care of it tomorrow. We're going to have a lot of running to do, but, that's just – it's unacceptable, and it sucks, but we got to grow from it.
Gideon, how challenging was it defending their offense with two different quarterbacks and an offense just runs at the ball a lot and wears down defenses?
They were definitely a good team. They ran the ball a lot. That's what we like as linebackers. But it wasn't anything insane. We just had to stop the run. We didn't come up where we needed to.
Obviously, Gideon, when the offense is having a hard time scoring points, how does that change things for the defense? Like, does that put more of a burden on the defense, or just what's that like when the offense isn't getting in the end zone?
It's tough, but we just got to stay the course and focus on trying to get the ball back for them to help them. And field position's big in this game, and we didn't do a good enough job today as a defense to help out our offense.
Obviously, in tough situations like this, the defense not being where it needs to be. But how do you guys, rally around each other, try to keep yourselves confident in situations like this?
Yeah, we're just gonna have to fix our mistakes, focus on the game today, tomorrow. I'm sure meetings are gonna be tough, but we just gotta be brutally honest with ourselves and look at where we need to be better and what we can do to get there.
Cam, I guess just how tough are the emotions right now, a week after, just the celebration and beating Toledo, just how different is it, this week after a tough outing?
Just harder emotions, but that comes with the game. Just have to move on and get in the film room and study more next week and get ready for Kent.
That first interception where the ball was tipped, it leads to a score. Just how hard was it to kind of just mentally rebound after that? I mean, obviously, offense trying to move the ball a little bit, but just kind of how tough was that play?
It was hard. I definitely think I should have caught it, and I'll take the blame for that. But we just have to move on from that, and we couldn't do that. But just got to bounce back next time.
Obviously, late in the game, you guys are able to, move the ball a little bit better, especially in the passing game with Lucian. What's maybe your message to Lucian to, obviously keep his head up and everything like that going forward?
Lucian's a great kid, great quarterback. I just keep telling him, keep going. Every week in practice, he's working his tail off, and I know what he can do, and I just try and help him, hype him up most of the time.
Cameron, 5 for 15 on third downs, 1 for 4 on fourth downs. What do you think was your guys' struggle in those late down situations today?
Struggle-wise, not really sure, but I just know we got to convert on those. That's what helps us win those games, and not converting on that put us in that situation.
Cameron, making it to the red zone in the first quarter, not really making it back the rest of the game. Just what do you think was one of the main causes of not being able to gain momentum just as an offense?
I think that interception kind of messed with the momentum. But, we just have to get back in the lab and make sure we get down in the red zone and make sure we finish with that.
Cameron, we asked Gideon this earlier, but I'll ask you, in these tough sort of situations, how do you guys as a collective unit and group on offense just rally around together and try to uplift each other in dire situations like this?
We just got to stay up. Can't get down when you get negative, things start going bad. You just got to try and keep the offense up and keep them moving.
With the big win last week, did you guys feel any sense of hangover throughout the game in terms of effort, or was it just the performance today, you think?
I think performance-wise, we just didn't come off as strong, which we needed to. And, yeah,